foundation, which is this 2010 Sprinter. We bought this last year. Had a lot of miles on it, had some turbo work done to it by a diesel mechanic. We felt pretty good about, just that it was going to be a strong van to build from. Obviously, like everyone else, it was white and it was a cargo van with nothing of use actually in it. We have done some mechanical stuff. I'm just going to go over a couple of things. Typical of a van with over 100,000 miles on it, which ours has over 200. We replaced diesel exhaust systems. We replaced diesel particulate filter systems. Other than that, the van runs great. Oh yeah, we got glow plugs replaced. Everything else, this thing's running good and strong. On the exterior, we've done some stuff. So obviously you can see we've got some aftermarket method wheels. They're oversized to 17 inches, proper off-road tires. I've installed an all new brake system on here, more or less. So all new rotors, new calipers, pads, obviously, that's been great. Suspension, that's a pretty major upgrade. So we went with adjustable heavy duty Coney shocks, the Reds, which are kind of big in Europe and I think are getting bigger here in the States. They have adjustable damping, which let me set up the front at 3/4 and the rear at full slow. And that's really helping us with any sway from wind and just from the van leaning heavily in off-road situations. So also in the back, not that you can see them, but we have the van heavy enough right now that we needed to sit up high and be stable. So we've also installed Sumo springs, which are an elastomer polymer replacement to the bottom out bumper. And as you can see, if you look at the ride height, even loaded with water and all of our gear, she runs pretty level and it helps keep this thing just stiff and run nice and tight. As far as exterior amenities, we made our own rack out of 80/20 components and mounted it with a Yakima basket. That's a lot of overflow equipment we need that goes up there. We've installed a Fiamma awning. That's been pretty amazing as far as the shade is concerned, so we're loving that. Just a regular old ladder to get us up onto the back. And then finally, the really fun part, we did a color change on the van entirely out of Plastidip. So Dip Your Car is the company that we used. It's 13 gallons, 9 full coats to make this anthracite gray. And then what was really cool is when it was all done, not only is the color change, we're really, really happy with it. It's dirty right now, by the way. We kind of like that too. When it was done, we were able to put all of our partner decals on and they stick on it perfectly. So that's the outside. Next up, let's check out the inside. All right, so the garage is a super big deal for our van build. It's actually the first thing that I set up for when building out the van. We had to be able to fit 4 full-size mountain bikes. We have 3 of them right now. We'll be getting a 4th one soon in Colorado. And all of our gear, we're living in this thing. So the amount of gear that you gotta have to feed the cats, feed the rabbit, feed us, everything is all in here. So a couple stats. We've got a 25-gallon water tank. Combined with our other water, we can carry about 36 total gallons of water for a long off-grid trip. We've got 2 Battle-Born batteries, lithium ion. We're stoked on them. We're running that all off of solar or shore power. And I've got 300 amp hours of solar panels up top that are all charging on that. Obviously, we're also set up to run off an isolator so we can charge while driving. And then we have a shore charger so we can charge up if we're at a cabin and just plug into that. We also have, which you can see here, our EcoTemp water heater. And so this is an on-demand water heater that lets us run a shower or just otherwise if we need hot water in a bucket for something. And so what's cool in the way that works, once the shower's set up, we're able to put the spout up here on top. You can see these mounts. So we have an expandable shower curtain rod that goes here, a curtain that comes down, clips. We have a nice bamboo swim platform, and we can take basically an infinite hot shower off the back of the van. Okay, that's heated with propane, so we do have a sealed propane container in the back. That's also running our 3-burner oven and stove up front. If you look really close, you can see the back of the Bunny apartment. Bunny has a front and a back to his little apartment, and that's his little private space that's really easy for us to get to and clean. And we'll show you the front of that zoo wheel here in a minute. And then obviously the most important part is that we're able to get all of our bikes in here, which is great. So we chose, instead of individual sliders, which we've seen some people do, we decided it would be easiest to make the entire cargo space one big slider drawer and put everything on it. And that's been a lot easier than trying to fit the bikes into the hole, which is how we started. So I was originally against the idea of installing the slider because it takes up space. I can tell you now I'm very for it. So easy to put away. We're in. A couple things that you can see a little easier now. Obviously, we set up this big space here so that we can mount all of our wheels. Tons of auxiliary storage for everything. The shower storage, which is really key. If you want to get a look, you can see some of the electrical. We'll do a more detailed video getting into how we set up our electrical in a separate video. Like a lot of van people, we've done the shoe organizer, so this is mostly zoo stuff. This is mostly my stuff. One of my favorite add-ons to this, we travel the country racing bikes, they get thrashed. So being able to have a really sturdy bike repair stand on here, that's a big time must have. So I truly have a garage that I would have at a house, just condensed into a small space. All of the tools I need, work stand, hot water. We have a battery powered air compressor. If you know anything about working with gravity tires on big enduro, big mountain bikes, they're hard to get on and seated. So all those little things make this work pretty good.
Now let's take you inside the van, the living space. As you can see, we have a screen right here. It does two things. It keeps all the bugs out, but it also keeps our cats inside most of the time. As an additional cat retention device, we do have a gate. And if you'd like to follow me inside, we'll show you what's in here. This is one of our resident cats, Pepe. So let's start at the front of the cab. As you can see, we have two swivel chairs. That opens up this space quite a bit than when the chairs are turned around. So we have a little bit more space by turning these chairs around. Workspace, hangout space. Also here between the seats, we have a subwoofer. Gotta have your tunes and they have to sound good, or at least Dan has to have his tunes and they have to sound good. But we fit that right here and just put this little cubby with all our handy dandy things there. We also have this headliner that we built ourselves. So you can see it's also a cat balcony. So we do store a few things up here, primarily the window covers and some of our riding helmets, but we do leave quite a bit of space open for these guys because they do like hanging out up here when we're driving or otherwise. For some extra storage space for a few more little things that don't fit in the cubby, we have these mole boards. So you can just kind of strap a few things in with the bungees, also with just some Velcro straps, and they hang out here. We got some sunglasses, a headlamp, a mask on a hook here. So that's a little bit of extra storage space for all the little things that we use quite frequently. This is our dining space, hangout space. As you can see, we got a bench with a cushion. We got some back cushions. We also have some artwork. Our friend Vincent Edwards made this piece for us. And right here we have another piece made by Scott Schrain of Timber Neck. It is a wood carving of a trail system in Bentonville, Arkansas, where Dan and I met and we built this van. So we thought that was a fun tribute to take with us. We also have this lagoon table, which swivels in different directions and gives us a lot of versatility in how we use it throughout the day. It could be used by one person, like this at the table. It could also be used in what we call office mode for Dan, where he can sit in this swivel seat and work on his computer right here. It can also be used as a dinner table for 2 people, and we just fold it out like this. Now let's move to the kitchen. We'll start with the fridge since it's right under our bench seat. So we just unhook it here and then slide it out. It's an Iceco fridge, a little bit more affordable than some of the others out there like the Dometic. We like this fridge. It's actually quite large. It has 2 of these bins. So you can do one side as a freezer, one side as a fridge, or both sides as a fridge, or both sides as a freezer if you're really into frozen things. We prefer to use both sides as a fridge. You can see here, there's the other compartment. This basket actually comes out and there's a little nook for more things in here. We can store quite a few things in here, definitely at least 4 to 5 days worth of food. The rest of the kitchen includes a sink. Obviously got to have one of those. We opted for a extendable nozzle with a couple other settings. So we have the little shower setting. And then if we do need to use the water on the outside of the van, the swivel's right around and we could use it right outside the van. And underneath here, if you follow me, we have our cleaning supplies. We have our trash, which there is a lot of right now. We also have our gray water container for the water that we use cleaning dishes and whatnot. We have our drinking water, just in case we need that. We also have the remote to our inverter right here to use to charge our laptops, our phones, that sort of thing. You can hear it goes right to outside here. We also have a bottle opener. That's important. And then on this side, we have a cabinet with 2 drawers. This is where we keep a few of our kitchen items that we use a lot, our utensils. And then this drawer we use for pots and pans and dishes and other odds and ends. We also opted for a hanging basket for fruits and vegetables. We opted for a soft basket so that if we do leave it while we're driving, it doesn't make a whole lot of noise. We do take it down pretty often though, because it's kind of overflowing with stuff. So we just pop it on the bed. And then if you follow me deeper into the kitchen, we have our stove / oven, 3-burner gas stove, and a gas oven, which is where we store some of our pots and pans for cooking in this thing. It's a little bit narrow, so you do have to be prepared for that you can't perhaps make everything you would in a normal oven, but we've used it for roasting vegetables. We've also used it to toast bread and bagels since we don't have a toaster. And we have one more bin right here. We just use that for some food storage. The big one. You see lots of containers, rice, pasta, soups, that kind of thing. And right behind me is our cat door. So the cats can go back there and then do their thing, hang out, do their business. Their litter box is back there. Above the stove, we have more storage. We have these struts on here to keep the cabinets open. It's really handy when you're trying to get a lot of things out at the same time. Also, this is pretty stacked, so you usually need 2 hands to get stuff out. So this holds it right open. And then if you follow me over here, we have our controls for both the gas and the water. So we can turn those on and off whenever we need to use them. Over here we have some more cabinets. These are our closets. So this is my side. Again, the struts come in really handy. Some more storage over here. This is Dan's side. Lots of room for clothes if they're folded down tightly. And if you follow me over here around this corner, this is our switch panel for all our electrical. So all our lights, which are on separate zones, as you can see. So we can choose which lights we're using in the van, depending on what we're doing. Also, another switch we have on here is a fan switch for the toilet that is in this closet right here. So this is our compostable toilet. Also making use of the struts. The compostable toilet separates the urine from the solid stuff, and that's what keeps the smell down, basically. By separating those two things, it doesn't smell in here at all. Also, we have some little bins for more stuff, and also our gear closet is right up here for all our bike stuff. And when we're driving, we can also store a few things on the toilet. So we've talked about the kitchen, the office. So now let's go to the bedroom, which is right behind me. As you can see, right now the bed is in what we call day bed mode, which is where I like to do a lot of my reading, writing, working. The bed pushes up against this wall. And when we do decide to, it's time to go to bed, we just unclip it here. And the bed slides down like this. Becomes a queen size bed. And it hovers over our stove without any other support. This is something that Dan really engineered and came up with to make sure that we could maximize our sleeping space. Like a lot of van lifers, we have this max air fan to keep everything in here cool, which is also why we have this window, not just to be able to look out of and give the cats a spot to hang out. By turning on the fan, which I'll do in just a second, it provides a breeze right through here. We don't have any AC in the van, so this serves as a way to cool everybody in here down. Let me turn it on. And speaking of climate control, we have the fan that we just talked about. We also have this heater right under the seat. The air just comes right out of there. It's an S-bar diesel heater, so it heats up to the diesel in our van. And then right up here, we have the thermostat. So we can control the temperature and set it right here. This comes in handy on cooler mornings. We are gonna try to spend as much of our time where it's warm, but on cool mornings, it's nice to jump out of bed, turn that on, then jump back into bed and wait a few minutes, and it heats this place right up. And last, but certainly not least, is our little bunny room. He came out for this video shoot. This is Bunny. This is his front compartment. You saw the back that Dan showed you in the garage. This is a space to just hang out. His food is right here. The cats and the bunny share water. They both drink out of bowls. And we really leave this space open for him so he can kind of roam around wherever he feels like, which he does a lot of.